Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector Edition Agent Liberty. Let's get a better look at that packaging, shall we? So here is Agent Liberty's packaging concerns anyway. We of course have the silver trim associated with the McFarlane Collector Edition line. We of course have McFarlane Collector Edition on the side there. On the bottom there, we of course have the DC Multiverse logo right there. The Agent Liberty silver nameplate up there. But at the top, we of course have the age rating, which is 12 plus for this particular figure. You of course have the 22 moving parts, another McFarlane Toys logo up there. On the side of the packaging, you of course have the Agent Liberty nameplate again, with the DC Multiverse logo up at the top. This is number 17 in the collector edition figure line there, so there's that, and of course more of the silver trim. On the back, we have this panel of Agent Liberty in his white costume, which is another variant that you can get, I believe. I don't know if it's a gold label or not, or if it's just like a platinum. I can't remember if the white version is actually a different classification of figure, or if it's just a variant. But there is a white variant out there. He's pretty hefty, though. But up at the top, we of course have Agent Liberty sourced from Panic in the Sky, which I'm not familiar with that story. On the bottom, you of course have the McFarlane Toys social medias. Of course, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On the side there, we of course have Agent Liberty from Panic in the Sky. Of course, McFarlane Collector Edition up there. The DC Multiverse logo up there. And of course, in number 17, and the McFarlane Toys logo right there. On the bottom, you of course have the Superman legalese right there, which is very interesting. And then you of course have the barcode for all you barcode hunters out there. But this is a con exclusive, so he's not going to be really seen in stores. So, but with all that said and out of the way, let's get this dude out of the packaging. And here is Agent Liberty out of the packaging here. And of course, before we take a look at the figure, we're of course going to take a look at the other contents. And just before I get started with the review, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to my boy Adam, who learned I had come upon, because I actually did get a platinum version of Clock King. And I didn't really want it because I just didn't care for the look of the figure, and apparently it's one of those platinums that was a different character. I believe it was Dr. Time, I want to say. It was some 90s villain. But he really wanted it, really negotiated. So we decided to get the Agent Liberty 2-pack, consisting of both variants of the black and the white variant. I obviously chose the black variant, while Adam has the white variant. And well, we traded this black variant here for me to get a good look for you guys, and also just for my collection because I wanted an Agent Liberty. So major thanks to Adam for coming to a deal with this guy here. But let's get a look at the actual accessories and stuff like that now. And of course, you can't have a DC Multiverse review without taking a look at the hockey puck, which of course has that DC logo right there, with the one peg right there, and nothing on the back. And then, of course, we have the card right there, which has the collector edition, kind of ruining the flow of the panel, but see Agent Liberty there is white, and some Kirby crackle in there, which is kind of cool to see. And then on the back, you have a very detailed biography of Agent Liberty right there, where yeah, he's basically, it seemed like he was more of a take on totalitarianism, where he came on the scene and was like a major take on government overreach and stuff like that. And then over the course of time, according to his biography and what I looked up on Wikipedia before this review, because I haven't read anything with Agent Liberty in it, he saw the right and became like had a short stint on the Justice League, and then I believe he was killed during the pre-52 days on the world that was from 1986 to 2011, before Flashpoint. So he was character in that world and hasn't really appeared since. What I do know is that he was a villain on Supergirl, and he was played by Sam Witwer. And apparently, again, from what I saw, because I saw a bit of that season just from flipping around and stuff like that on TV, is that they were doing that, where they were doing, the government overreach, the radicalization of different people, stuff like that. They were really commenting on that with Agent Liberty. So I know Agent Liberty is more of a villain, but apparently he is more of a hero in the comics. So there is that. And then we come with the DC Multiverse card holder, which is a waste of plastic. Get it out of here. But let's get a look at his actual accessories right now, which he comes with 2, and he's displayed with both of them. So he comes with, it looks like an energy projection shield, which is interesting. And I've always called Agent Liberty like DC's Captain America, which isn't true because that's Sergeant Rock. But in terms of looks, he is straight up Captain America. I mean, you got the shield, you got the cap there, you got the star on there. All you're missing is the actual color scheme. But there is the energy projection shield. Nice shield, it's got a clip to clip it onto his wrist and stuff. So pretty nice stuff there. And then he also has a jetpack on his back. So he has a flame piece, which you can just insert like that, and he can look like he's flying and stuff like that if you have a good flight stand and stuff like that. So nice little fire piece right there. Let's get a better look at the figure here. So as you can tell, if you're very familiar with this line, as familiar with it as I am, since I'm doing these reviews, you can tell straight off the bat that this is a repaint of the Booster Blue Beetle Buck. How can I tell? The rims on the boots, and the overall skinniness of the arms and the torso looking very, very much reminding me of the Barry Allen Flash figure, which again is a repaint of that Buck. And they used this, I think this is the most reused Buck they have. I think this is slowly turning into the Bucky Cap mold from the dark days of Hasbro Marvel Legends. I remember a lot of collectors being like, oh, they got the Bucky Cap mold again. But this mold isn't bad. It's just used different molds. Like, it's not that hard. And that was literally your propaganda, where you're like, oh, it's going to be all new Bucks. Now it's turning into reuse and reuse and reuse. So there is that. But the paint is relatively cleanly applied. There is some stuff on the buckle right there where you can see some messy stuff right there, which you can obviously tell that this was painted around all of this. And he obviously has like this, it looks like it's probably supposed to be a helmet, but it looks more like a cowl. It looks like they just took the ears off of Batman. Like, it honestly just looks like they took off the ears of like the Nightfall Batman. So it looks really weird. Because I know it probably should be a helmet. Because let's take a look at the card here. Yeah, it should be a helmet. It should be like a more shiny. And this is more matte. So, yeah, probably should be a helmet. Isn't. Not really a big thing for me, but just like, And you, of course, have the jetpack on the back, which again has that plug-in right there. Really cool stuff. And I love the way that they incorporated the actual design into the jetpack. I find that really cool. Having the nice red and blue on there. And, of course, the yellow, kind of referencing Superman. Which I know his first appearance... I think his first appearance was in a Superman comic. So I'm not too far off in that comparison there. He, of course, has a utility belt at the bottom there, which, of course, goes all the way around to the back right there. He has some blue dots and, of course, yellow going down all the way to the boots, the rest being black. And I gotta say, the black paint really works because if you see a lot of the 90s like looking, at least the black versions of Agent Liberty, it always shows the white cell shading, and with the glare that the camera is giving off, with the glare that like my studio lighting is giving off, it's kind of showing up the cell shading with the lighting. So that's really cool and a great way to give that cell shading without actually putting it on the figure. Because that's the one complaint I have about the Marvel Legends X-Men like 97 figures and all the animated figures they're doing, is that they're actually putting the cell shading on the figure. And to me, it makes it look like a mess. So, but with this is how you do cell shading correctly, in my humble opinion. But let's get a better look at his articulation. So he, of course, moves his head that far up, that far down, side to side, all the way around. Standard double ball peg stuff right there. With the shoulders, he hinges it all the way out, goes all the way around. Nice butterfly joint right there. He has a bicep swivel, which is kind of tight on this figure, to be honest. It's very strange. And then he, of course, has a double jointed elbow right there, which, yikes. And then he has pretty loose wrists, I'm not going to lie. The wrists on here are pretty loose, but you, of course, can do the roll of the dice hinge and in and out, like I demonstrated earlier. With the abs, he can crunch that far forward and that far back, which, because of the jetpack, he can't limbo, so you have more crunch forward than back. Actually, it's about the same, but hey, better progress isn't a bad thing. He has the standard McFarlane legs right there, which you can move that far forward, that far back. He has standard thigh pivot right there. Double jointed knees with a nice ratchet right there. And solid knees. Could do better, but oh well. And then he, of course, has a rotation up at the top, hinge in the ankle, pivot at the bottom there, and of course, toe articulation and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And here we have some of the more government-sponsored superheroes that we're kind of working with. A more recent one we have is Peacemaker here, and he's been making the rounds in the comics lately. He's currently a figure in the Absolute Power story, which is the big event that's going on in DC right now under, obviously, Amanda Waller. You, of course, have Captain Atom right there, which has a fantastic moment, and I think I really dug into this during my Captain Atom review, which you can check out on the channel. But the scene in Justice League Unlimited, where you have the fight between Superman and Captain Atom, because Captain Atom was drafted in that continuity, was so good. And it's one of my, it's the sequence I think about when I think about Captain Atom. And you, of course, have our new Agent Liberty right there. And then we, of course, have Sergeant Rock right there. With, I managed to get my Thompson, so that's cool. He actually looks era accurate now, but overall, I'd say these guys surprisingly work well together. Even Peacemaker, even though he's more of a realistic sculpt, I think with the addition of the helmet, it makes him a lot more ambiguous. So, yeah, overall, the really solid lineup of, government-sponsored superheroes. And here we have Agent Liberty with some supers here. We, of course, have his nemesis in the Supergirl show, obviously Supergirl right there. And then we, of course, have Earth 2 Superman, which completely encapsulates the man right there. I'd say they'd go well together, but I think this Superman is personally a bit too big. I think something more like the Action Comics 1000 Superman or the Hush Superman, which I do have, but I don't really want to get him off of the flying stand every single time but I'd say that Hush Superman is your best bet for a Superman to go with Agent Liberty. And here we are, kind of closing up our look at Agent Liberty here. And overall, I'd say he's fine. He's fine. He's just another retool of the Booster Gold Blue Beetle buck with some additional paint apps and a new chest piece. I mean, he does the job. I hope they. The thing is, though, is that you wouldn't really want to create a new sculpt just for this guy. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, so much of your propaganda when you got the line, and this is referencing to Todd, is that we're doing all new sculpts, man, all new sculpts for every figure, and it's like, okay, bud. And this exemplifies my problem with repaints, but also the things that I understand why they do repaints, is that you can completely tell why they did a repaint of the Booster Gold Blue Beetle buck for this guy. It's a standard superhero physique. It's a standard kind of character that nobody has really heard of, so it's not really going to make a lot of bang for your buck. So it's like, just repaint the same figure and put him out. And it was also a con exclusive, so that makes it a little bit more appetizing to the average collector there. With that being said, and it's not a con exclusive anymore because you can get it on the freaking website, but the accessories are cool. Again, the jetpack, and I'm guessing it's an energy shield. I'm not exactly sure. Again, I'm not a big fan of Agent Liberty. I haven't read a single comic he was in, so I don't know his power set or anything like that. And overall, the paint apps just feels very toyetic. Despite the fact how much I praised the black paint because it looks like the white cell shading that he has in the actual books. So overall, I give him a 6. He's fine. He's slightly better than average because I think this sculpt is exceptional, but overall, he's not a figure I'd recommend to anybody who's like, because he's not a top of the line figure. He's not a figure that you'd want in your Justice League or like Legion of Doom or anything like that, because he debuted as a villain and became a hero. So there is that. He's just one of those characters for like diehard DC fans, so I can't recommend him to anybody really, unless if you like the character. But with that being said, what do you think about this Agent Liberty here? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And of course, keep collecting, be kind and courteous out there, and I will see you in the next review. Peace.